Hello. So, the audio's working. Yes, it's working. Ah, I didn't realise, but I managed to unplug the cable for the microphone, and I realised when I looked up in the air there was a wire dangling. Anyway, in this stream today, what we're going to do is we're going to sort this little I think it's a 9.5 model record low angle hand plane, ideal for planing end grain, or just trimming up and what have you as well, just cleaning out sort of stuff. Whatever you want to use one of these for, because the blade is set at a much lower angle than a standard bench plane, which I could actually quickly just show you. Just get up here. Hello, not just sawdust. I hope you're well. Happy New Year to you too. You obviously already know. That's a standard bench plane. This is a number 4 bench plane. And the number 4 bench plane has its plane iron set at a much steeper angle, probably about 30, it's about 30 odd degrees. Well, the actual grind is. But the low angle plane is about 25 degrees. So you plane your primary bevel at. So it's a much lower angle, but really it's not, because I mentioned this in the previous stream, but a low angle block plane such as this one here, this is a Stanley, it's a bevel up. So the bevel is on the top side of the plane line, whereas the bench plane such as this one, it is sure I can say that. There you go. The bevel is on the bottom of the blade. And when you take the angles away from each other, there's only a few degrees in it, in the actual angle of the actual plane iron, the cutting edge itself. There's very little in it indeed. So it's a bit of a fallacy. But what I will say is, the low angle block plane, where it does, where it's much more, it's more superior than the bench plane, is when you want to do end grain. If you want plain end grain, because you've got an adjustable throat here. So this piece here can slide in and out. You can reduce the size of the throat, so you can reduce the amount of shaving that it'll peel off, which is obviously very short peelings when you do end grain. But it prevents like breakouts and tear out and what have you, and splitting when you're planing in the end grain. You still really need some kind of support on the back edge. Now what I mean by that is you need, what I tend to do, I tend to clamp another piece of sacrificial wood on the back edge. Say for instance this was your piece of wood, and that was another piece of wood, I'd put that, and I want to plane that, I'd have a sacrificial piece of timber on there, so I can plane straight across, and that helped hold that end grain in place, so you don't get breakout and split. But the low angle block plane, it reduces at no end. Now this is the one I want to sort out. This one I'm still using. It does need some TLC, but this one in particular has got rusty. Yeah, it's got damp and rusty through neglect, basically. Because I haven't been spending enough time in here, and I just didn't think. I should have come into what I normally do is I winterise my tools if I'm not going to use them. I literally wipe them a bit of engine oil or something like that on them, WD-40 even, just so they've got something to resist the moisture. In this case, I didn't. As you can probably see there, it's rather yucky. So yeah, it's streaming it. So I'm still got that up on there. Oh, got to play it to make that stream. Ah, that makes sense. I better turn the sound off though, otherwise I'm going to interfere with what I'm doing. I just want to make sure it's streaming okay. It's a delay. That's the top point down. There you go. Volume's gone. There, that's stream. Let's minimise that. Let's get the chat up again. Yep. So I hope everybody's been having a lovely weekend and a new year so far. I've been full of flipping cold. It's about right, isn't it? So let's make sure that's going all the way along. Why haven't I got all the chat up? That's a bit odd. Bear with me. Live chat. Top chat, live chat. Ah, hello Susan DeWitt, hope you're well. They've got Mad Monk 33. Hello, buddy. Hope you're well. I hope you're having a nice Christmas and a happy New Year. And I don't know what your New Year's resolution is going to be. I ain't got a clue at the moment. I know what I'd like to do. Yeah, I can't say it though. No. But that's for a different channel. So anyway, this is the block plane in question, which this is the one I've had this for years actually, and I bought this new, probably 25 years ago, maybe longer, and it used to go everywhere on the site and what have you. It's been dropped several times, and it's had a bit of a bird muck type welding on the back here, just cast, you see, so it's a nightmare to weld. Just to hold it together. It dropped there and it snapped put a hole in it basically where the threads are in the back here. But no matter, it still works. It still does the job now. So well, got bodged up. I could grind it all flat, I suppose, but I didn't. And this is the little plane arm, which also, instead of changing the iron, it needs new iron. But what I did is I filed that to give me a bit more movement. I filed that one of the slots so that it goes further. You know, it can travel further down. Give me a bit more life out of it. But yeah, it is due for a new plane arm. So it's a bit of a bodge. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this apart. I'm going to clean it up a little bit on the linisher and a bit on the wheel over there. It shouldn't take that long actually. But let's take it apart first. So we have this adjustable mouth at the front on the low angle block plane, such as here. As you can see, that slides backwards and forwards. And you just tie it up to whatever position you want it in. And if you want tiny amounts of shavings to come off, you keep that as small as you possibly can, allowing enough material to be able to exit. But on the whole, it helps prevent breakout again. So yeah, so it makes it less aggressive. So I'm just going to remove the brass thumb screw knob. It's got a screw on it. Ooh, sounds a bit wrong, doesn't it? And then we've got this like cam, which is literally just got a little pin on one side, and it's pretty much the same on this one as well, on the Stanley here. But this is a Record. And it basically slides and moves this backwards and forwards. It's all a bit stiff because it's just all gummed up and got a bit corroded. It should be a lot freer than that. Or better machine. It's just dirty basically. There's a whole lot of grime and muck behind there and in there as well. Another difference between the low angle block plane and this, you don't have a removable frog. If you've got, you've got this lever cap arrangement here with this bench plane, and then you've got your plane iron and your chip breaker. And the chip breaker is that curved bit. You don't have all that with the low angle block plane at all. It doesn't exist. But you do on this smoothing plane or any other bench planes, such as the number 7 I use a lot. And so it's a different arrangement. Then we have where this mounts onto, we call the frog, because it looks like a frog. So that part there. So you can remove that, you can adjust all this, and it's got like a second screw in the back here, so you can make sure you put it back in exactly the right position, or you can adjust it with it. So it's quite a good design like that, you know. Thanks to Frederick Bailey. Frederick Stanley. Leonard Bailey. I keep getting them two mixed up. Just put that back together for a second. Put to one side. So that has a frog, but the low angle block plane does not have a frog. Which is, just a different thing altogether, isn't it? It's for a different purpose. Smoothing plane like this is probably one of the most popular planes. This is number 4 that most people seem to buy. 2-inch number 4. It's not the most useful plane out there. It's really designed for smoothing off, safely jointing boards together. You'd use this to flatten the boards off. It's too short to do anything of any use along a length. I've seen people shoot doors and all sorts of stuff with a number 4. You can do it, but it's going to follow whatever's there. Unless you've got the skill to actually control it. And silly night. So it's just it's a different tool. It's a different tool for a different job. So it's good, but not if you want to do anything. My tablet, I'm using this for the chat, and it keeps turning off, and it's getting rather annoying. And I've got it on as long as I possibly can have it on for, but it still keeps going off. It's a nightmare. Anyway. So this is our plane. Body as you can see it as it is. Now I'd like to be able to remove this brass knurled knob here, but you can't really because I can't remove the threaded rod out anymore because I've welded it in because all the cast broke. But if I can, oh, hang on, yes I can. Yep, managed to get that off. That's out of the way then. Because that's all really stiff as well. That should be really free, almost floppy. You know, that's like that is. And we've got a screw on here that can be removed. And this actual portion here, this lever, which is the skew of the blade, so basically the blade twists one way or the other, it just literally on the thread. So it's not, it isn't sort of a wearing surface really, but it's actually like, almost a bit like on a bolt really. Yes. So I'll keep that together though, because I don't want to lose the bits. So that's as far down as I can strip this little low angle block plate. This record, and now it's made under lots of different patterns as well. This is the record version. Like I said, I had it a very long while. It says it's made in England. Well, no, it doesn't say it's made in England. It says Record England. It's probably made in China, even back then, probably. I don't know. A lot of the tools now, like Stanley, for instance, it's made in China, and it's now Stanley Black and Decker. So they're not the same. Stanley do make some good tools though. They have a Sweetheart range, which actually it mimics an old style of Stanley hand planes and chisels. And they're actually quite good. They're not bad at all, especially for the money. They're quite reasonably priced. They do a lovely low angle smoothing plate actually, which is actually what I want to get my hands on. And it isn't a huge amount of money. Unlike something like Lee Nielsen and those sort of brands, you're going into the hundreds just to get a hand plane. And if you treat it like I do, yeah, forget about it. It's not really a great idea. And I'm not a tool tart. That's the thing. I like tools because of what they can do for me. I don't go there and oh, look at my tools! Oh, my lovely tools! Oh, good, exciting. Like I do see some people on YouTube, all their polished tools in the background. I don't think they get used. They just sit there, just so you can look at them. It's like eye candy. Yeah, it's a bit sad, really, isn't it? So we're not doing that one. We're doing this one, and it shouldn't take that long. But I thought I might just live stream while I'm doing it. If you look a bit closely at that, you can probably see that that is rather pitted. It's a bit surface rust, nothing major. But we can sort that. We can sort that. Hello, Gingers. I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to give up on this tablet idea. I am going to go get my mobile phone. It's going off. I don't know what I keep doing that for. It's very frustrating and very annoying. But it is. Oh, but it is. Right, it's no, I don't need that channel. I need a different channel. So I'm just going to swap it over to my woodworking channel. There we go. Oh, that sexy beast on the bench. Oh, look at him. Oh, that's me. Oh, that's good. I'm back. Might be smaller, but at least it's not going to keep going off on me. Oh, no, anyway. I need to sort of suss that out. What's going on with that one? I bought the missus a new tablet, and she just sold her old one, which was I think we paid about €108 for it when we bought it. She just sold it for 90. Was it 80? €8. So not bad. She's had it for about 4 years. People are mad. It's bad people out there. It's just volume down. So strange hearing yourself. It really is. I'm using a 5.5 mostly for real straight results. I use number 8, pushing 4 kilos across the notebook. Yeah, I haven't got an 8. I've got my 7. Yeah, I've got my Stanley Bailey number 7. I use this a lot. You know, it's had a bit of tilt-tartery going on with this one. Like I've changed the plain irons to Victor's, Victor cast forged, hand forged plain irons. Make a huge difference. Changed the tote and the knob, and just cleaned it up, what have you, because it wasn't a bit of a mistake when we first. I've had a long while now, actually. This one, I've even got my initials engraved inside of it. So this one never actually went on site. It's always been used in a workshop. But this one, I use this a lot for straight boards. It's brilliant. Love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. It's one of the things when you're peeling off your shavings, I get all excited. I do. And also thin and fine. Yeah, that's a lovely, lovely job. So you use a 5.5 mostly. Cool, I got a 5.5. Got my little 4. I need to get 5.5 now. I've got my I've got a jack plane, which is it's a 5.5, isn't it? Is that a 5.5? Oh, jack plane. That's number 5. As you see, I don't use it that much. It's covered in dust. It doesn't take long to get covered in dust in here. No, I do use it, but not very often. Still got the original totes on it. It's a good plane, you know. It's basically, it's like this one. It's longer. It's the only real difference. Whereas the number 7 and your number 8 you're talking about, they'll be 2.5 inch wide, generally, aren't they? So your 5.5, is that a 2.5 inch jack plane? There's so many to choose from. Don't worry, I know it's upright, but I put it on the paper, so that'll be alright, that'll be fine. Right, so where were we? My tablet got jostled and now it doesn't work. Oh no! I'm getting a new one this week. Well, I got my missus one. It's an expensive one. That was only about 100 odd euros, and because she only needs it for just, you know, messenger stuff that's what she uses it for, and a little bit of search. She don't use anything special. But she loves it. She's getting on very well with it. The old one she had was really heavy. It's 10 inch, but it had a metal chassis on it. It's a Samsung it was, and a metal chassis. And God, I like a bomb. So yeah, you feel like you're struggling with it. She will use it in bed or whatever. And also it's quite long. It's more like, I suppose it'd be good for watching movies on or something if that was your thing on a tablet. But as a whole, it was a bit of a nightmare. So what I'll do is I'll try and degrease this a little bit first. So because it's got a lot of grime built up in these areas here, and all I'm going to use for that is a bit of oil mixed with a bit of white spirit. It's my version of WD-40. I'll stick it in there like so. So I'm just going to wash out all the nasties, and then I'm going to concentrate on trying to remove the rust. One thing, if your tools are rusty, well then you're going to leave rust deposits over your workpiece, aren't you? That ain't going to be very pleasant. But equally, it's just, I feel really guilty when that happens. I noticed this year because I've been so busy with the other channel. I had plans to work on this channel. I just think I got carried away again. It just took over my life again. And although we are going back on then and trying to come up with solutions, trying to revive the other channel. It's a political channel, so it's very much like trending content in it, you know. Today's news is tomorrow's chip paper. And I'm not everybody's cup of tea, I do understand that. But I'm not going to change. So, it's just who I am. People got a choice, haven't they? But I have to admit, I've actually looked this last 30 days, I've lost more subscribers on the other channel. 14, in fact, I've lost. They're not. Yeah, I'm minus 14. Gained a few, lost whole load. I admit I haven't uploaded many videos, but still, you know, most people just have subscribers to channels they never even look at, you know, and they don't even realise or they forget about them. So the people that have gone out of their way to subscribe. Oh well, never mind. But I have learned a lot. I have to admit, though, I've learned a lot, obviously, regarding the way it works and the difference between trending and an evergreen type of content. Because live stuff generally isn't evergreen, you know, because they're so long. People don't click on them, do they? So the idea they could come and search in someone's search and they're going to click on something that's like an hour long, it's quite unlikely. Most people just ask them for an answer, aren't they, to a question. So, you know, how tall is the Eiffel Tower or something like that, you know? Oh, did you know that the Eiffel Tower is the second tallest building ever made by man? Yeah. 1800 and something or other. Probably said that before, haven't I? I'm just cleaning off the waste to start with. The grime. It's working. It's coming off. I've actually got some blue paint, actually. And I could, give it a sand up and give it a coat of paint. Or food coats of paint and make it all pretty again. But like I said, that's not what my tools are for. My tools are there to do a job. You know? You got to state that. That's a hell of a steak. So we're going to take this over to the linen shirt in a minute. But first of all, I'm going to get off what I can with the wire wheel over there, which I won't take you with me, but you'll be able to see it from over there, I suppose. But I'm just going to quickly whip it over the wire wheel to get rid of some of the excess. Because look at these dimples here of the corrosion. I just... Like I say, it's not because it's ugly, it's because it doesn't help the flipping tool work properly. Because all that stuff is in the way of everything else from working. You know, it's just, well, for start the grime. And rust, what is rust? It's rust. It's like iron sulfates and stuff like that, causing it to corrode. Right, iron sulfates? I think that's right. Sulfate of iron, I don't know. I'm rumbling on, I am. Rumbling on. Hope the audio's okay. Yeah. I haven't checked, have I? So I suppose I could check on here. I'm just going to quickly put that sounds fine. That sounds fine. Good. Goody done joints. Don't do too bad a job with a little microphone. I need to alter my F clamp mic stand though, because it's dropped a couple of times. It's at the wrong angle, so I need to do that. Anyway, I've sort of cleaned most of the grime off it. So I'll whip over there and just I'll just clean off what I can with the wire wheel, and then we're going to go. I'll take you with me to the linen shoe over there, which is basically a big belt sander, and we'll flatten the bottom. You know, if I was flattening it properly, I'll get it machined, and then with the old machine, get it machined. So I did that with that one there, number 7 when I first got it with that machine, and my number 6, which is fine. You know, that's a beautiful job. Just a gnat's whisker off. That's all you want to do. Just flatten it off. It had a couple of hollows around the mouth area of the plane, as in the casting. That's quite often the case when you buy a new hand plane of any type. The likelihood is you're going to need to do something to it. Now, there's a few brands out there of like Footprint or is it Faithful? One of them. They make quite a good hand plane for not a lot of money, and with a bit of TLC, you can make some really good tool. You know, but they're not always 100% flat on the bottoms. Now, the new Stanley Bays, which are made in China and are forged in China, are awful. They're terrible. If you get hold of an old one, yeah, do it, because they're brilliant. Yeah, they're a really good tool. But the new ones are absolute shite. Sorry, but they are. So let's get off there like that, because I don't want to be splashing oil in my face from the wire wheel. And see what people are saying. Gingers! My tablet was cheap. A Walmart Android hybrid. That's what this one is. Still got Caroline, and it's brilliant. So quick. I was quite, you know. I don't know about you, but the Samsung stuff, like that one there, even it's like it gets slower and slower and slower. Even back to factory settings, still slower than it should be. You know, it's just not how it was when we first got it. It's like it's written into its code or something. Oh, there it goes! Oh, my light! Light to see, my light! Oh, what film's that from? Yeah, it gets rid of most of it straight away. I want to flatten it off. It's a bit pitty, so I'm going to flatten it off on the leadership. Just going to clean this one up on the wire wheel first, not build a crap behind there. That's the sliding sole. The base here. It's not perfect here, obviously, so we'll get that a lot better than that. But I'm looking at it now. It could do with a little bit of filing in there now. Actually, I'm looking at that, and it's there's a bigger gap that side and there's that side. But saying that, providing the plain iron, so on, lays flat at that point. Once it's been sharpened, it is trued up. There's no point in worrying about it, because you'd have to regrind all that section there as well. And by doing that, you'll be putting it at a different angle, which I don't want to do. There's no grime in there now, so we'll put that back in there, because I want a bit. What I don't want to do, I want to put it on the linisher. I don't want to not have that in, because what will happen, I'll end up taking too much off there and too much there, because you won't have enough sole plate to actually hold on. So we're going to temporarily put this back on. So, this right one, isn't it? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Ah, it's that one. So we'll put that back in there. I'm just going to dunk a bit. I'm just going to run this over that wire wheel, and you've got to be really careful with those wire wheels, because obviously little tiny items like that, you're going to end up catching on your fingers. Now, if I've got some water pump pliers there, that'd be the ideal thing for you to hold it. What I'll just shove them in there, so I'm holding the knurled bit first. The knurled, like that. And I'll do what I can with that first. But you could just dunk it in some coated chrome, that's done the job. It's a bit risky with your fingers though, and obviously you've got to be careful because brass is soft. Not as soft as copper. Brass is an alloy. Just I'll go back on there like so. When I put it together again, I'll take a pug in a minute. But also make sure that this operates and slides backwards and forwards freely, which it does now. Before it felt really kind of lumpy, like there was crap in the way, which there was, because it was all crappy. Yeah, so tighten it up and make sure that's fed. That's good. So we're going to run on linisher just briefly, just remove some of that pitting at the bottom of that, so that I can polish it off with the diamond sharpeners as well. Algorithms suck. I'm still getting recommendations on YouTube that I have no interest in. Yeah, you will do. That'll take a while. What you've got to do is you've got to look at a lot of stuff that you are interested in, and it'll just take over from the algorithm eventually. I hear that. I hear that, Gingers. Even when you search for something specific, some of the things suggested makes you wonder what translation program they ran it through to give you such a crazy results. Yeah, I've been playing about with that Chat GPT. It's absolutely brilliant, but it makes mistakes. Yeah, I was looking at the history of Festool, and it got the two founders of Festool, which was 1920 something or other, years and years ago, before the war, and they got one of the founders right, but the other was a guy called Stoll. They said there wasn't it. The other guy, Stoll Stifles, but no, he wasn't one of the founders. So they got that wrong. And so you've got to be careful. You can't put all your faith in it. it will learn and it will get better in time. But if anyone doesn't know about this thing, ChatGPT it's an AI search algorithm, I suppose what it is. It's rather clever. You could ask it to, I don't know, write a child's story about elephants in 500 words, and it'll do it for you. And it'll literally write a book. It's surprisingly good as well. Much better. Obviously, there's no nuance. Like I said, it does make occasional mistakes, so you can't just copy and paste stuff. That'll do. You've got to read it through and what have you. But where I found it been really good for, when we've been doing like the Etsy and stuff like that, we've started using that for our descriptions. Because you can regenerate the result and create a totally different result, but on the same subject. So you get less, it's quite an easy way of having masses of little short descriptions of, say, for instance, an elephant or whatever you want to talk about. But it prevents duplicate content on your channel. So you can, or on your Etsy account or whatever you want to do. Even YouTube descriptions, you could use it for that. It's actually very, very, very good. Although it makes mistakes, so you can't put all your faith in it. It's like a lot of this electronic stuff these days. Hello, Nico Schmidt. I hope you're well. Best wishes for 2023, he says, and I say the same to you and everybody as well. I did a chat with it on Brexit. Oh, did you? Oh, you've been using ChatGPT for your very long comments. Excuse me. Oh dear. We are doing, just so you know, we are making videos again on the other channel, all shorts. But I really don't want to do what I've been doing before because I keep going down that same rabbit hole, and it literally takes over my life and makes me broke. Yeah, it's a trap. It's a trap. In the words of Colonel Akbar, yes, it's a trap. But it's Oh, you posted on Max's Discord, did you? Oh, cool. I haven't been on his Discord. I'm still paying for it, but I haven't been on his Discord for absolutely ages. I was finding the whole thing was becoming... How'd I put it? You know the guy who played Freddy Krueger? A bit like him, really. I was finding I was going down this rabbit hole, and it's kind of like I was becoming it. If it makes any sense. And I was becoming all shores. Bit odd. But yeah, it's things weren't getting done around the house. I was becoming less sociable with missus and stuff like that because I was wanting get the video done, get the video done, get the video done. And it was literally I had to wake up. Yeah. And although we will be putting videos on, I'm not going to be doing like 10, 12 videos a day and stuff like that anymore. I need to work out in my head exactly what we're going to do. I'm fairly confident I know what I'm going to do regarding the live shows on All Shorts. And I think I'm definitely going to be going ahead. I need to practice anyway, because it's good for me regarding drawing. I want to draw political figures, but talk about them and things that they've done. That's what I was thinking about, and things that they're doing. So current and past. And I think that might be a little bit more evergreen. That's my thinking, anyway. And then obviously other videos as well. But I'm not quite certain how I want to approach them. I don't know if I want to go back to doing edited videos, but then it takes so long. Do I just do casual chats? I don't know. I really don't know at the moment. But I don't want to start going down that slippery slope again because it doesn't work. Not for me. Because like I said before, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody loves me. Not everybody hates me. Especially the old Brexiters. They hate me, they do. I was also getting very angry about it. Yeah. Because I just don't understand how people can think that way. There you go. Maybe. It's not what this channel's about, is it? So let's get back on the old clean this up. So we're going to take this over to Linux now. Algorithms suck, you aren't wrong. And they do take over, don't they? Yeah. As in the kind of... you've been manipulated in some ways, aren't you? be manipulated in a certain way to actually, because that's what they showed. It's a bit how like Cambridge Analytica works and stuff. Anyway, let's take you over here. Make sure you can see. So I'm going to come over here. Oh, I'll tell you what to do. Flip that. Should I flip that camera around or should I spin the camera? Tell you what, I'll just swap a camera. That's a good idea. Let's just put that one in instead. There you go. Not quite sharp. Don't know what it was earlier. And spin the old microphone around as well. Look at all the things I have to do. Things I have to do. Well, let's finish it. About the sound basically. And, you know, in normal language. I need to make a note for it because I haven't actually. This is where I think it's what looks to live now. Because it was through in the other barn, but I'm using it so much at the moment because I'm using it for my exercise type stuff. And I'll make a few pennies here and there. But I've had this good long one, it's a seedy one, and it's got a 9-inch disc on it. As you said, they get ready, caked up rubbish. But and also it's got this long belt. It's a rather long 6-inch wide belt. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully lower this plane onto that belt, keep it flat. But we're going to be careful, so because as a belt, it can whip. To really create restriction, the belt lift a little bit on the side, and you can round off the edges. So you've got to be really careful. You can't go crazy at it and think it's going to be, oh, it'll be perfect, it'll get flat. Because although this is machined flat, which it is, the belt, like I said, can whip. Plus, the belt has a joint. So, yeah, the belt isn't made as a loop. It's basically a flat piece of belt that's got this joint here, and that creates a lump. Yeah, it's very shallow lump, but it's a lump nevertheless. A bit like that. See where it's nice and shiny on the outside edges? That's not because of whip or anything like that. But if you look in the middle here, it's a bit duller. Oh, you can see that. It's a bit dull in the middle of this. Really pay attention what I'm doing, don't I? And that's where it's a bit hollow. And that's in the casting. If it was right across, well then I'd know I've been taking chips to top and bottom. That's purely in the casting. It's only just. So I don't want to go crazy, so I'm going to leave it at that. That's fine. Now, if you are using this machine for, I've got to number 5 using that handplane. I wouldn't do anything bigger than that because the length. You get in and create hollows and stuff like that. You don't want to do that. But for a little one like that, it does the job. You see that now looks downside, but it's a little bit shinier. Well, it's a good sign that it's actually clean, isn't it? It's not pitted with rust. Wherever you got that rust, it makes it harder to push across a piece of wood. It's like have sandpaper there to grip, it'll grip on, won't it? So we'll take back to the bench over half. Carry on cleaning it up. Back to the other camera. Camera number 1, please. Thank you. Oh, there you go. So we just whipped it over there. As you say, it is a lot better. It's a lot cleaner. I might regrind my primary bevel on there using the linisher as well, because that's generally what I use it for. Now, when I do this, I normally I've got a block of wood with the angle already set on it, and all I do is just hold the block of wood and flatten it on top there, but it's disappeared. Usually in that drawer over there, but it's disappeared. I'm looking at it now. The thing you've got to watch out for, whenever you're sharpening your hand planes, over a period of time, what happens, your hand plane will end up not being perpendicular to the side. Now, okay, in some cases it doesn't matter too much because you have your little lever and you can adjust with skew. But that's not what the skew's ready for. The skew's there so you can start off creating an angle, then you straighten the skew up and you carry on. So if you put a leading edge on a door or something like that. Because you use a little cabinet mate, you can use for putting leading edges on doors, little cabinet doors. Now I'm looking at this, it doesn't look particularly straight. I'm using my little engineer square. And quite often it's a good idea to have something light behind you. So I'm going to use that. Or a light. I'm going to see if that is square. If my eyes don't deceive me. Oh, actually, it's not as bad as I thought it was. Well, that's a lot worse than that. That isn't square. I'll tell you what, I'll get a pen, I'll show you. Marker pen, please. Thank you, thank you. Scalpel. Now, as I put that on here like so, I can see that this side here is lower than that side. I feel the blade there. Oh, a bit lower. Yeah, I feel the blade there, but I can't feel it there. So that tells me that's a bit lower on that side. So really, I should think about I should be thinking about regrinding this and straightening that up. If it worried you, that is. If it's much, So I'm going to put a line across here. The problem is, one of the problems is if you don't correct it as you go along, you'll end up in a situation where the skew will not have enough movement in it to be able to make the skew useful anymore, because the blade, the angle of the blade will be so far out, it could be a quite severe regrind, and then you're at risk of overheating the steel so it goes like a blue colour and making you losing your temper in the steel, which you don't want to do. I'm looking at that now. Just fraction, probably not even the 64th, not even that 100th, maybe. It's fractionally longer here. Oh, around or the other way around? Let's put that on again. Yeah, it's fractionally longer on this side than it is on this side. So hopefully I need to remove some on this side. Which makes sense. Oh, I've got to go. Oh, not just sawdust. Take care, buddy. Yeah, just make it so it's a useful tool again. Like I said, I'm not after it being pretty. It's not what it's about. The next semester at uni, my younger two have projects. One is editing, and the other art. So they want to make use of use my letters to my children type stuff. And we'll have few viewers, but it's for them to gain experience. Good point. I really like the sketches I've seen. I showed them to our middle child, the artist, and she thought they were great. Oh, cool. Cheers. Yeah. The thing about when I went down I did a photography degree. About 2000. I think it was 2002. Yeah, 2002. And I did my photography degree, and what it really taught me is not photography. It taught me how, by thinking outside the box, really. Semiotics and all that sort of stuff. And it's an iconic semiotics, writing for the purpose of. I had a habit of writing things in a way that were kind of passionate in a way. You know what I mean? And a bit silly in some ways. And what me? You say? What me? But what they wanted more of a clinical approach, as part of this course. And it was quite interesting though, because when I went there, Mark, who was one of my tutors, he said, "Oh, it's about a sale on Etsy. Oh, what do we sell? New order. Oh, somebody's bought a thermometer." Oh, okay. That threw me. So anyway, Mark, my tutor, cold old soul he was, He didn't like it when I did a manipulation of him as Hitler. Yeah, he wasn't that keen on that, especially when we did it as a PowerPoint presentation. But yeah, anyway, he was actually a very good photographer. But most people see his work and say, oh my god, that's a bit boring, a bit bland. He'd take a picture of just like a football field, nothing going on whatsoever, just a football field, maybe the goal at one end or something like that. But technically, it was brilliant. It was all large format works. It was all done on 5x4 cameras, which I used to have as well, field camera. I used to have a Wister 5x4 Schneider lenses. And I could see the technical, for me, it was brilliant. But most people look, what the hell's crap? You know what I mean? It was a bit boring. I don't like that. But it reminded me of a photographer called Andreas Gursky. And you might have heard of Rhine 2 and various other Montepass. One was actually in Tate Modern. I think that's the Montepass. Montepass, I think it was in Tate Modern. Or was. And he's a German guy, and he basically funded his career with the Beschers. You might have seen like the topography images of the water towers and stuff like that. Well, that was Hillary and what's his name? Bernard Becher. And they went around touring basically with these field cameras, trying to make technically perfect images of water towers, all black and white, a very long time ago. And they had a school of photography for which Andreas Gursky went to. Now, Andreas Gursky, he did large format work, but most of his work was digitally manipulated, even back then. Obviously, but we're not talking that far back. And these images were huge. So his work was all taken on 10x8 field cameras. Basically, it's just a plate camera. So it's like a big transparency. There's all the images and shots on there. He would then put them into his computer, which must be pretty damn powerful to be able to run that sort of stuff. And it convert it into digital images, and then you manipulate them. But where he was brilliant was his lighting skill. He did one image he did inside a Tesco's, Tesco, a supermarket, and it's across all the top of these aisles and what have you. But it was perfectly lit. And he used over 50 flash guns, Metz flash guns, to fill in all the dark spaces and stuff like that, all synchronised together with probably through Slave Flash or whatever it might be. And the images is just technically brilliant. And he's a very rich man now. I think one of his images, I think it was Rhine 2. It's basically a picture of the Rhine River in Germany. And he's it just literally looks like green, then river, then the bank on the other side. Literally, basically what it looks like. Absolutely brilliant, technically brilliant. And that sold several years ago for about, I think, Sotheby's or Christie's, something like that. That was about $5 million. It was the most expensive photograph at the time ever sold. This was a good long while ago. But anyway, he was I did aspire to him. And that's the kind of stuff I like. I love all this abstract kind of making things a little bit aesthetically different. I love Dali and stuff like that, which is quite strange. I just did a sketch last night of Teresa Kofi as Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, so it's a Jabba coffee. Yeah, I know it's fat shaming. I'm fat. I know all that stuff. But yeah, but that personality, you see, that's why I said her personality is she's just foul. And I looked at it, I thought, oh my god, that reminds me of a Dali. Like Salvador Dali. He's obviously dead now. And the images of all the droopy clogs and the crutches and the elephants with long legs and stuff like that. And it's a museum in France, in Paris actually. I've been around 3 times, twice now. I've been around it. And it's quite a fascinating place to go. But I looked at it, that's almost like a Dali. Okay, my take on it, but it's like a Dali. And I thought, I'm enjoying it. And it's good for my head, doing these sketches. It's good if I get any frustrations out. It's just there you are. I've got this pen pad thing. It's like a big tablet, and it puts the image directly onto. So you're literally drawing onto the screen, basically. Brilliant thing. And it's linked to a computer and stuff like that. So yeah, and use any software I want, so it works really well. So anyway, I'm mumbling on. Should we do this, shouldn't I? So what we need to do now, we need to straighten that edge up. What to do? Hello, Joe. I hope you're well, buddy. Did he? We are making videos again. I had Ezra, one of the regulars on the channel, sent me a message over via the GoFundMe actually. I was like, what is it? Are you okay? Because you upload any videos and stuff? We are uploading videos again this year, very very soon. This month. I've just got to get my head around what exactly I'm going to be doing with the channel. I know what I'm doing on the live stuff. I've got to do the sketching idea and talking politics and stuff at the same time, so I can share the screen and stuff. You see, so it'll be like it'll evolve. I think it might be quite fascinating to watch. I think I'm remembering I'm not that good, and I'm learning because I used to draw a lot before I met the missus. I didn't really draw anything until since I met the missus, since I've been married. At that time, 6 kids, you see. And that's how I started drawing again, but using this digital device, and I love it. It sort of brings back good memories and that as well. So, yeah, the idea is we're going to do live streaming on the other channel while we're sketching, probably portraits or some kind of derogatory portraits of British politicians. That's the most likely thing. I don't know quite what yet. And that'll be good for me as well, because obviously I'm going to evolve with it as well, because I'm not that good yet. I'm refreshing, if it makes any sense. Refreshing my ability. So I used to do a lot of sketching, but I haven't done it for a long time. Anyway, I'm digressing, aren't I? Mrs. Marcus. Mrs. Marcus is fine. The dogs are fine. They're just the same. But like I said, we will be going live, and then we will have the dogs in there as well. But also, I really don't know what I'm going to do about the videos itself yet. I want them to be a little bit more evergreen, not just the here and now. I want them to be searchable or be suggestible in YouTube, because the channel has taken a real hit. And I know I keep going up there and down there. I am with that channel. Up there I am again, down there. And when it goes up there, I get all excited, you see. And then I just do that. And then the whole thing flops again, and I get really depressed. So I need to do it. I need to, for my own mental kind of in that case, anyway. Yeah, keep my head screwed on, basically. Anyway, let's get back to this plane line. Let's get back to the plane line. Now, it doesn't need a lot taken off there, actually. So I could go over there and just whiz over it with the linisher. I might try that first. Just to see if I can straighten it up a bit. So I'll take that with me. I put my line on it already. Got water over there. Yeah, there's water over there. That's good. In case it gets hot, so I can cool it down. And I'm just going to just do that primary grind. But before I do that, I want to see whether or not it is at the right angle. It should be 25 degrees, you see. So I'm just going to check that it is at the right angle. I don't want to be a little bit under that, but it's got to be better. What's the best way of doing this? Let's have a look. One way to find that. Let's put that on there. For test purposes. And let's put that on there. Oh, that's a bit that way around. Zero that in. So press the button again, and it should zero. It is zeroed now. So you see. So I'll take it off, and I'll get that down to about 25 degrees. So we can. Oh, that's 30 at that point. That's no good. There we go. Shouldn't really turn it around really, but oh, that's near as damn it. That's near as damn it. So that's the angle it should be at. Now, for me to test it now, all I'll do is I'll get my marker pen. Draw on. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just draw on the edge there, like so. In most cases, you need to do all this. You just sharpen up, show it in, and do what you want to do. But if you want to do a lot of end grain, you might want to make sure that your angles are good and you've got a good edge on there. Because end grain you can break that out quite quickly. Come on, dry, dry. There's it. Oh, put the heat on, couldn't I? Oh, there we go. That's about right, I do. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this back forwards a few times to see whereabouts this is, yeah, high or low. Turn that off. There's a little digital angle find, magnetic, brilliant tool to have if you've got a table saw or you want to do sharpening. These things are brilliant, really, really useful, and they're not very expensive either. Get off about 15 quid. I can't remember what I paid for that one, but it's quite good. That one is. It's run back to 43 times and not just tell me whereabouts, and it's way off. Now, if you look on half, be careful because I don't want to wipe the rest of the mark off. So suck some of the liquid out off it. Right. Now, I don't know if you can see that on there, but it's shiny on the back edge. On this back edge here, it's shiny, but it's not taking anything at all near the actual sharpened edge. You can see where it's actually high, where it's too long. Unless we take a bit more material taken away. But yeah, it's not steep enough angle. It's probably gone down about 28 degrees, I think, which isn't it. Normally like 25, if I remember rightly. So we need to take it out of there. I wonder if you could put it on the linear like that with a little wheel going around. It's got no bearings in it, so you probably just break it when you just wear it up. Got a bearing in it? Or just dry bearing. It's probably just a bush. I don't think it's ball bearing. Might be, I don't know. It might be a bit risky. Could try it, couldn't I? Should we try it? So the belt going across there, that little wheel going. I'll give it a go. Probably break it. Let's get the other camera up. Camera number 2. Camera number 5. Well, what I noticed was when I was trying to do with the wheel, if you try and push down the wheel, hold the wheel down, it doesn't spake too much. But just skimming it, so it just creates that bit of a guide. But I'm not really touching with that. It just gives me enough just to judge, so I know whereabouts I am. I don't want to ruin it, but it's done that anyway. I've got primary grind, my primary bevel. Get back onto the other camera. Camera number 1, please. Camera number 1. Camera number 1. Where is it? There we go. Ah, we're back. Back over here now. Okay. So I'm looking at it now. That looks pretty straight now. That's loads better. Yeah, that's loads better. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to clean up my primary grind, and then we're going to put the micro bevel on. I'm going to use my trusty little set here, or you could use an oil stone such as this one. I might use it as well actually because it's very fine. So we'll go to that one in a minute. But we'll start with that's 2,000 grit. That one is. That's very fine. That's not double sided, it's just single sided. Had it years, that one. It was given to me. How old that is. That's the thing with a lot of these people have these oil stones, think they're going to sharpen tools up. A lot of people, they do it once, they think, oh, I can't do that. And then they end up with these oil stones in their drawer, and their you know, in their workshops and little sheds and stuff. And then people like me, oh, I would like that. Thank you. Or when you pick, you know, or when a member of the family pass away or something like that. So useful. Not when they pass away, obviously. That's a bit nasty. Oh, that was very useful of you to peg it. Oh, thank you very much for that. Yeah. Okay. This is what I mixed earlier. Now, I know some people say just use water with your diamond stones. This is diamond impregnated piece of steel, but piece of plate steel is diamond impregnated. You might have seen these cheapy old things like this about as well. They work to an extent, you know. They've got the use for these cheapy old ones as well, which actually are quite good. Still quite thin, but being they're a card, these thin ones like this, even if you want to take a bit of foam off the back, they come in sets of 3 normally, and you can get up to like 3,000 grit. Now, they're pretty blooming good, but they're also very good for sharpening your cutters. I use it to sharpen things like my Festool domino cutters, also my router bits, stuff like that. Because they're thin, they're ideal for that. These ones are too thick to be able to sharpen your sharpen your tungsten carbide router bits, because it's too thick. You can't get them right in. So they're not very good. You can buy a trend. You can buy cards, not card scrapers. Sorry, you can buy card sharpeners, the size of a credit card for that purpose. They're quite thin, but they're no thin than what these are. Anyway, I digress. Well, I'm going to use this oil and white spirit mixture. I know a lot of people like to use things like white spirit because obviously it's not exactly very environmental for a start. But I don't like adding water to my tools. It seems like a silly idea. Right, so now I haven't changed the angle of this. So if I carry on with this as like so, that should do exactly the same what I was doing over there. But I'll just polish off my my grind, because obviously you've got. To be honest, that doesn't matter. You're not cutting with that, but I'm gonna clean it up anyway. Flat off. For your primary grind, your primary bevel, you should always really grind them with your coarse grinding wheel anyway. Otherwise, it'll overheat. That one's causes problems regarding steel. You probably noticed I did dunk it in water a couple of times when I was doing to keep it cool. What I'm doing now, just polish on flattening off, because this will flatten off better than what that does over there. That's just quick, you know. And you can get these little 4-inch. That's a 6-inch, but you can get little 4-inch bench style sanders or linishes like that, and they're not a lot of money. So useful. You know, even just you got to use it for sharpening. You could use it for your woodworking and stuff like that as well. You know, sanding up your woodwork, especially small pieces. Really good for that. It's fast. Good for flattening a piece of wood. Hello, dude. Hope you're well, buddy. What? Meanwhile, Johnson gets to be Prime Minister. But he isn't at the moment. No. We've got little Richie Sunak, haven't we? Yeah. War criminal. If you ask me. That money and all that. But anyway, that's Richie Sunak for you. I'm no fan. I can remember, I was going to do a video about him a while back on my other channel. And, so don't do a video about, don't be careful what you say about Richard Sunak. His family's really powerful, they said. Well, yeah, she is. But everything I was going to say at the time about it, I held back at the time, it's actually true. It's turned out to be absolutely true. What I found quite frustrating with the other channel is I talk about certain things that I found out about through industry papers or whatever, through back channels, and then they end up being mainstream about 2 months later, But when I made the video back then, no one was interested in it. But it happened so many times. It just wasn't the right time. You know, if Google isn't confident with the message that you're giving, or YouTube, sorry, they're not going to show it, are they? That's it. It's dangerous. God, it's already really sharp. And I haven't even done the micro bevel on there yet. So I'm going to now work down to the next grip. Ideally, I should be pulling it back from a micro bevel, but I'm just going to, for the hell of it, I'm going to go down to the 600, which I think is that one, or is it that one? That's that one, 600, isn't it? That's 600. So jump from 300 to 600. Oh, damn me. 300 to 600, it's a bit of a jump. Not really. Me and the missus, we're going to be doing some propagating this afternoon for our trees. Because we're buying, as you know, we're buying loads of trees, but also we're propagating trees for our GoFundMe, you know, for the rewilding project we're doing here. We were out there yesterday, actually. My legs were killing me going down that flipping hill. I'm really going to have to get my act together regarding doing some exercise, because I'm going the wrong way again. Partly because of the other channel, because I spend too much time in front of the computer. And but I need to exercise. I've really got to get some exercise and lose this flipping weight. You know, obviously eat less food. The thing is, when I'm in front of the computer, I eat more. When I'm doing stuff, I eat less. So, looking good. Yeah, but we were out there, we were sorting the fence line out because Wally kept escaping. Yeah. There's a girly dog out there, some on heat. He's getting a bit excited, he is. Although he hasn't been a problem for about 3 years. So we thought we'd better check the boundaries. So it's a good job we did. We found loads of holes, which he's been going through. It's just like a little scratched out bit of soft, because obviously it's very wet at the moment, where the ground's been scratched out, where the wire fence isn't quite low enough. Normally we sink it into the ground, you see. But, come on, oh, light, I see, light, thank you. Where the, on the front boundary, which is adjacent to the road, we had all new water pipes put in. And when they did that, they scraped flat all the verges, literally flush with the roads. And because of that, where the wire was originally, it's now too high. It was literally sunk in the ground before, and now it's not. So Wally can just go straight under. So it hasn't been a problem for such a long time, and then now it is. There's another girl in town, and he's not done. So we're not likely to do it now. He's 13 years older, so be careful, mess the hormones up. Oh, fitting good now. Right, time for the now. So I'll put the micro bevel on in a second. So I'm just going to pull this back a little bit in here to create the micro bevel. Only by about 1 degree difference. So I'll flatten the back off as well. Now some people paint, so literally they'll have a piece of steel and they go tap 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 and they create a hollow in the back here. The problem with that is longevity. Yeah, the lifespan of your plane irons is very much shortened if you do that. But you can get even sharper edge. But depends what you want. You know? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it back now and do that micro bevel. I'm fairly confident the primary bevel's good. It looks good to me. That looks fairly straight. Yeah, perfect. I'm going to pull it back. Undo it. I'll just bring it back just a fraction. Just enough to get my micro bevel. I'm not too worried if yeah, I want that. Obviously, I wanted to make sure that my primary bevel is reasonably at the right angle. But you can't, unless you're going to take huge amounts of material away from the primary bevel to create a micro bevel, you don't really have to be worried too much what that angle is. You know, as long as it's a little bit. You know, if you're done 25 degrees, you obviously want to go a little bit steeper than that. Yeah, but some people they worry too much. see a lot of these channels. Oh, you get the crazy sharp. They go crazy sharp. In fact, if you're playing on, I can show you the back of your hand. Yeah, that's sharp enough. Any sharper than that, as soon as you start using it, you'll bend it over and end up being no good. Yeah, you'll create, you'll blunt that. No time at all. So you've got to be careful. So you go steep and steep and steep. You're shallow with your angle, sorry. So you end up with a sharper edge to start more like a razor blade, but it's vulnerable. The edge is vulnerable. So as soon as you start using it on hardwood, it just bends. Or, and if it bends, it'll basically fall back on itself. That very fine edge. And then it'll be no good. It will no longer be sharp. But no, before I start thinking about the back edge, I'm still thinking about this micro bevel. And I want to go finer. Now I've got a choice here. I could use this one here, which I'll literally just place straight on top of there, like so. Or we could use this oil stone over there, which is even finer. This is 1000 grit, so I'll do a little bit with that. The only problem with this is I can only use one end of it because it's not sunk in, it's not flush. You see what I've done here? This diamond stone here is flush with these two bits of wood either end, so I can roll. I make more use of the stone. With this one, obviously I'll have a lump. It ain't gonna work. So I can only do use one end at a time. Now these cheapy, they look a bit like a honeycomb type. You'll see them on Amazon. They're really cheap. They're only about 10 each, if that. Yeah, and they do work really well. If I remember right, I bought a set for about this one in Jordan for actually for Graham. I bought a set for 20-30 quid or something, so it wasn't a lot. They're really good. For most people, they're good enough. They really are. Depends how far you want to take it, And you can see that you actually, because it's black, it's removing metal. They're basically metal filings. Talk about metal filings, if you ever want to turn a piece of oak or chestnut a brown colour and you've got no stain, you can oxidise it. So you can oxidise it. What am I talking about? Oxidising? Basically, what I use vinegar and it's wire wool. You put it in a jar and leave it to one side for a while. And what happens? The wire wool will disintegrate, create all these iron fragments in the vinegar, and you can use that to stain your wood. And as soon as you put it on, say, oak or chestnut or some of the other timbers, even pine will change colour. The tannins in the wood reacts with the iron sulfates. Iron sulfates. Anyway, it reacts with it, and it just turns it brown, and in some cases black. At first, it'll look a bit kind of like a browny, nasty colour, and you wipe it all off, and it'll be black behind, especially on the oak. Oak which is completely black. Oh, let's get sharp. That's getting really sharp. Let's make it even sharper, shall we? So we're going to use 2000 grit. You can get right up to 8000 grit if you want. That one at the end there is 4000 grit. I've got a water stone. The only problem with the water stone is they're soft, and the natural stones. And although you do a lovely job with them, and if you ever get any Japanese chisels or plain irons, you mustn't use oil stones on them. You must use the design, the steel, the way it's folded and stuff. You can't use oil stones. It just ruins them. You have to use water stones. I personally wouldn't bother, because for most people it's not really very handy having all that hassle. Because it comes with a whole load of hassle. Oh, sawdust in my coffee. There's sawdust in my coffee. Same difference here. If you're using one of these, it's a good idea to set it in a block much longer. Really, you won't be able to have that, so that's support both ends. To spin around, you see. So this is a lovely fine oil stone. Now for most people, a Northern India oil stone, dual-faced oil stone, the ones that are over there. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a Northern India. And it's got two faces. It's got a coarse, it's got a fine. It's like 600 to 1200 grit or something. They ain't that fine. But for most people, just that alone is enough. If you're in the United States, they're quite cheap. In the UK, they're quite. I don't know if they are now, but they were quite cheap. In France, ridiculously expensive. That's so annoying. That's because I'm sitting still, so I'm not moving enough. So, when I run it back and forwards a few times like so, that'll sort this edge out, and that'll should be fairly blooming flat. Now, no good use for these diamond stones, such as 300 grit. You've got a nice flat one. It is. You can use them to flatten your carborundum because they are more durable than the standard ore stones, certain carbides in my head. Certain carbide? Carbide, I don't remember that. Yeah, like the India Norton stone. India stone. Combination stones. It's actually a rather nice stone, this one is. It's quite old. Very fine. Every so often, what you want to do is you want to make sure you're using all the stone. If I keep putting it in the same direction, you're going to end up wearing the stone unevenly. That's why it's a good idea to have it set in especially if you're using one of those guides, have it set in a long block with flush at each end. So at the moment, I'm going to use not even 2/3 in stone. And that'll obviously make the stone less flat. So now, that is pretty darn. I've pretty much made my micro bevel the main bevel now. That doesn't matter. That's fine. Too much yapping and not thinking. I want to flatten the back. Now, I could use this, but I know it's not going to be 100% flat. But 400, I want the thinner one. Oh, there, it's over it. I know that's flat. So I'm going to flatten the back of this, just carefully. It'll also remove some of the burr. To be honest, I quite flatten the back before I even start sharpening. That's what I normally do. You always get highs and lows. There's always highs and lows. Why am I not a politician or a Tory? I could be a party member, it seems. Okay. Well, actually, if Joa, you could vote for your leaving that another dude. You could actually vote for your favourite party if you want to become a Tory member. You could do that if you've got a company in the UK. If you're a director of a company in the United Kingdom, you can vote for a politician. If there's not a general election, but because you become a member. Once you become a member, you can vote for for a Tory. Not very good, is it really? Because anybody can do it. Wait, do I believe in reincarnation? Well, like the cows. That's what the Indian cultures, but they believe that when you die, you're reincarnated as a cow. That's why they're considered sacred. Yeah. If you see a cow on the road in India, oh, don't keep beeping it. You got to wait. You got to wait for that cow to pass. Has more rights than you do. That cow does in India. Now, my friend who I've been motorbiking with a few times now, he was telling me a story when he went to India, with his sons. His son accidentally hit somebody, and they said, "Don't stop. Whatever you do, do not stop. You'll be done. You'll be done for." So he's basically carried on. He's just you do that in the UK, obviously for good reason. You'd be locked up. Not in India. But it happens all the time. Free for all. No one signals. They just hoot you. They have like a conversation going on with the horn. Beep 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 beep. My mum was Indian. She came over in the 50s. That's like not whole Indian. No. She was part Indian. Makes me part Indian. I do like curry. I'm brought up on it. Oh, it's coming along. Definitely not flat on the back though, I must say. Obviously, I've been neglecting this, haven't I? All too often. If the back of your plane iron, especially with a low angle plane, isn't flat, or it's got like grooves, notches, or pitting in it, the plane iron edge is not going to be sharp. You're not going to sharpen it properly. It just aren't. It's not going to happen. Now I can see it's fine in the middle. When I get closer to the edges, each corner here, it's pretty dire. It's pretty bad. So I might have to flatten it further, the whole line as well. Otherwise, I'm not going to get it flat. Oh dear. It needs to be plane iron, really. Like I told you at the beginning of the stream, I butchered this plane iron so I could actually get real life out of it. Because I couldn't get hold of plane iron at the time. And I just haven't bothered since. So. Oh, that's look better. That's looking loads better. Polishing it off. Obviously, this is something we chucked away and made into something else later on, but it's just to get a new one. I just want to make the plane usable again, so it wasn't usable. You can't use it with the rust that's all over it. That'd be ridiculous. Right, so now I've got a burger the other way. That tells me that, yep, there is a burger the other way. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to do this freehand now. Very gently, freehand. And back. Lowering it down. Now, some people, I don't do it with my block planes, which is this low angle plane, but some people actually use a steel rule, a thin steel rule, place it on top here, and actually use it just to bring up the actual plane on just a fraction. So you like a back grind on the back of the plane iron. I don't tend to do that on small plane irons like this. I do it on my number 4 right up to number 7. I want to get hold of the number 3. That blue light. It's so annoying. It's not moving enough. That's what it is. I need to wear bypass it, don't I? When I'm doing live stream or what have you. Oh, this is going to be so sharp. And when you're using the water stone, especially the fine ones, you've got to be so careful because they're natural stone and relatively soft. It's quite easy to take gouges out of them. Obviously, the carborundums or the diamond stones, you don't really get that problem with them. You start they're a lot firmer stone for a start. Off to lunch, says Joe. Have a good lunch. Lunch break is almost over. Hey, oh, okay. Take care, buddy. Just little figure of 8 motion. Like that last little bit. And then I need to get rid of the burr. Now I can feel the burr that way now. So basically what's happened is there's a little fine wire edge and it's bent over. So there's various ways you can do it. You can use a leather strop, Literally backwards and forwards. You're bending it backwards and forwards. In the path, well, not a path. Paste like this. There's a cut and paste. Then I'll use. I've got a piece of leather up here. And I'll use that backwards and forwards. I'll do it anyway. See? It's fine. So I'll load this up. Paste. Cut paste. Yeah, it's not wax. I've probably got wax in it, I don't know. I also use a bit of white spirit. That's what white spirit is. It loosens up the cut paste that's already in it. What to do? There's various ways you can remove this burr. One way is you just do that. That'll peel the burr off. It's not a great way of doing it. The other way, if you're confident, is literally using the palm of your hand, and that's what I tend to do generally most of the time, especially if I'm out and about or in a hurry. Backwards forwards. All you do is you're folding the burr one way and you're folding it back the other way. You press wire edge and it falls off eventually. You can actually see it. The other way, using the leather strap or leather strap, this is actually a strap from an old, like a box or something. I've got one bit mounted here, so, and I bring backwards on both sides and forwards. And I keep doing that, and the paste literally clean up that micro bevel and make it extremely sharp. There are other ways of sharpening. Some people use a technique where you use sandpaper. Works very well actually, but it's not a cheap way of doing it because you do get through a lot of the sandpaper. It's like wet and dry paper. You get through a hell of a lot of it, and but you can get a ridiculously sharp edge. The other way is what I've got here. These are my carriages I use to support the system. I basically put a plain iron in there, and you can move them back and forwards, like so. Does a brilliant job. I've tried all sorts of ways of sharpening my tools. This is probably the best way. This system works really well. That's great if you've got what I normally have. I'll have all my tools set out on here. I'll go through the whole lot. If you want quick but sharp, yeah, put an edge on the tool. You don't really be faffing about too much, do you? You just need, I need a sharp so I get on. Sharp. Oh, nasty. Yep, that's sharp. Shave with it, it's fair to say, it's sharp enough. So I'm quite happy that's pretty sharp. Let's find a bit of paper. Just to look. If you've got any notches in it, the paper's a good way of finding out. No, that's pretty sharp. Paper's damp. Yep, that's good. That's sharp. Oh, plenty sharp enough. Put that over there. Grab this. La 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 la. I'll move enough so it doesn't like to go out again. Right. So move that back so it doesn't interfere with the plane line. I'm not painting this up because it's not what this is about. I've got a bit missing. It's this bit. So we need to screw that back into there. I'll put a bit of oil in there while I'm at it. Got some oil over there. And a screwdriver. Go there. Yeah, we're going to go into propagating. That's what we're going to be doing. The garden. We're going to do a little more willow. And we're going to go on a bit of a hunt as well for some trees, little saplings. It's a good time of year now, the ground's soft. And then we'll have those, and plus the ones we bought as well. But loads in at the moment. Well, let's make some more videos, but yeah, we're in there like that. Right. So it's tight. You don't over tighten anything, because obviously what happens is you'll just wreck the threads. Now you've got to be careful when you put this in, because it's bevel up, you've got no protection there on that plane iron. So when you drop it into your body, oh, I'll tell you what I ain't done. Let's smooth this off, wouldn't I? So what's it's 400, where's the 300 gone? 300, that'll do. I'm just going to polish this off a little bit with the diamond sharpener. Bring this back up and forwards like so. It'd be better if I put that block of wood one up there. That's better. Not one at the sides. I know I've done a little bit on the sides with the shit a little crazy on there. When you get a plane, not block planes, but the bigger planes, such as number 7s and stuff, you need to make sure that's 90 degrees to the side here, because you'll use that as a reference face when you use the planes. Like anything, you know, using hand tools take time to get, you know, get your hands, get that sort of mechanical knowledge, muscle memory. That's what phrase is, muscle memory. Doesn't happen overnight, does it? It's like, you know, it's like drawing, I suppose, like when you're doing sketches and stuff. You're not going to be good overnight. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. We'll lower it into the back panel, into the body, onto the sole. So the plain iron pokes through a little bit. I've locked the sole plate off, so I don't want that damaging the edge of the extra plain iron as I poke it through. So open it right up. Just going to drop that into the body. Sole. Oh no, I'm not. Oh yes, you are. No, I'm not. No, because I made a mistake. I forgot something that's quite important. It's this little thing here. This little blade. Don't forget that little blade. That's your adjuster. That should go right up. Just clean it on the wire. Like I say, it's not about being twee, is it? It's about doing the job. Got a reverse thread on it. Remember that. To be trying to do it up clockwise, we do normally, but it's actually reverse. So bit notchy because there's probably got a bit of welds for that on. But it's notchy though. Why is that so notchy? Shouldn't be notchy. It's tight. Why has that gone tight? I've got the wrong. Is that the wrong way up? Might be the wrong way up. Let's have a look. Feels like there's something there, like a bit of grit or something. Probably have it the wrong way up. I won't be surprised. Yes, it's the wrong way up. It's the wrong way up! I'll put this way. Say oils, like I say, it's got white spirit in it as well. It's not really oil. But it's got oil in it. Going the wrong way again. Anti-clockwise, man. Anti-clockwise. Come on, get on me. Am I using it? Oh, there you go. Hopefully, touch wood. It's going the wrong way. Keep going the wrong way. Just turn that right. There you go. There we go. That's it. That's it. That way, Marcus. That way. So the thread is the opposite direction. Oh, that's better. I don't know why it'd be stiff the other way. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I've got to write down now. Right. So now I'm going to lower the plane iron into the body of the plane, come up to the mouth of the plane. Making sure everything is located nicely. Make sure that the plane iron is in the right notch. Okay, back we go. Alright, okay. It's not very forgiving at the moment because that's right, that's yeah, it's not very forgiving because I've actually got it in the wrong position. Because I actually filed out part of this plane iron, so I carry on using it. So we need this. So it doesn't look like I've really cleaned up very well, but that wasn't what the problem was. Okay. Make sure that's located in there nicely. That is. Good. Slight bit of adjustment on that screw. Then this screw will hold down the plane iron, but I don't tighten right down again until I've got fairly good. Probably about right. So let's tighten that. Now, I actually prefer this one because this knurled nut here, because the back here of the plane of the actual plane, this here where you put your palm on, it interferes. You can't really get your fingers around that knurled nut very well. So I think that's a bit of poor design, personally. Whereas this one's got like a little lever system, and once it's over, it's tightened up. I think it's a much better solution. Now, whenever you want to adjust the blade or plane iron backwards and forwards, you have to loosen that slightly and drag it one way or the other. But then you go back again, so you go. There's a lot of free space there. You have to kind of go the other way just to make sure you put pressure against the plane iron again. Otherwise, you'll just end up it'll slide back on its own. It's the same with any plane, to be fair. Some planes are better than others. My number 7 very rarely is an issue. It's much better tool. Just that. So I'll grab a bit of wood for a second and just see what that's like. Dig, 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 dig. Well, that goes so. Got a bit of pie nut here. In the bicycle. Ah! See how thin we can go. Pull the plane iron back a bit. You go so you're back a bit. You've got to remember, you've got to go forward again until you take up the pressure. I will sort of just slide back even further. Oh, need a bit more than that. So that's the first shave and quite thick. Needs a lot. Yeah, the shave is just a lot. You can see it, quite thin. Thinner than that. If that's flat, you can definitely go thinner. Again. Did I go the right way or not? Nope, right. on the back of it. Let's go back. There you go. Like I say, tighten up just a fraction. Oh, I've gone too far. Back. Oh, that's it. No, it's really thick. Super thin, like a bit of lace. So now it's a useful tool again. Now, what I was talking about earlier, if you want to say, for instance, plane the end of this piece of wood, this is when it all goes terribly wrong. Alright, what you do is, I'll show you what happened first if you don't do, I'll show you. So, you've got a low angle block plane like this one or like that one. You're not playing this piece of wood, like so. You have it at a slight angle. Hello! Yeah, not much longer done. So you're playing like so, but as you come off the back head, this can splint on the back, especially if you're you're trying to take too much material off at once, which is what we're going to try and mimic in a minute. So if I do that, look, cut the end grain quite nicely. You see what's happening here? It's not too bad actually, but it's actually trying to break out that edge. Sometimes that'll split all the way down here, like so. See if we can mimic that. Is that possible to mimic it? Oh, I don't know. Doesn't want to do it. That's about right, isn't it? But yeah, it'll break out here. So you end up losing a chunk out here, like that. Right? For some reason, it doesn't want to do it. But one way you can stop that from happening, or you can reduce it, is by having a sacrificial piece of timber, such as this piece here. You mount it flush with the back edge of your end grain. Tighten that up. And what that'll do, effectively what you're doing is you're clamping the grain together that way and holding that end grain in towards this piece of wood. And by doing that, well, it's holding together, it doesn't splinter so much. So that'll splinter and that, well, I'm playing right across. Now, you see a bit of breakout there? That's what I'm talking about. That's the sacrificial bit, so it doesn't matter. So that allowed me, obviously it's not going to be true, because that's not what I'm doing, but as you see there now, there's no breakout at all. So that's what you have. You have a sacrificial piece of timber there. So you're playing the end grain, it goes straight over the top of this piece. So this sacrificial piece is a bit that splits like so, and not the piece that you're actually trying to plane smooth. And if you look at these shavings here, compare this is long grain shaving. You can see there, and this is short grain shaving. So these, well, it's cutting off the end of the grain, and hence they just break up into turn to dust. You just do it in your hand. I just turn into a little tiny, into dust. Into tiny little bits, because obviously the grain is short and there's nothing really holding it together. So you can just pull it apart. Whereas this, it's got more strength because the grain is running along the shaving. It's pretty obvious, really, isn't it? But yeah, anyway, it's sharp and it's useful again. I would say so. So I go back to my rack. I might do that one later. And it'll get used. It's always a good idea. You don't have tools that you don't use. because they're a bit pointless, wouldn't you say? So there you go. Let's put this back up here. Back of the rack it is. Put them back together for the moment. I'll tidy this one up later. Like I say, I'm not trying to make them pretty. I'm not going to go out there and start painting all my tools up because I want them pretty for my YouTube channel. Oh, it's so beautiful. No, I want them to use them. I want them to work. And they weren't working because I was an idiot and allowed them to get rusty. You've got the skill on there as well. Same difference to that one. But the adjustment's different on this one. You've got this adjustment that goes along the direction of the blade. Personally, I think it's a much better design. And this one, it's actually used to be my father's, this did. So he passed it on to me. And I can remember when he bought this many years ago. It was a wee nipper. So, yeah. That has helped build many a boat, that has. Put the bag up behind that. Put this one back into its own little home. This will go back and I don't use that much these days. Jack, you can tell it's very dusty. I do use a spoon plane occasionally. Right, so there you are then. See what the chats, and I'm going to have to go off with Mrs. and go off with Mrs. It sounds a bit wrong. And then going to propagate some trees. As you probably already know, we're planting a loads of trees. So we've got rewilding going on. Don't forget to beep the old like button. Yeah. Yeah, we're planting loads of trees on about 1,000 trees on 2 hectares of land, plus other stuff we're trying to do as well. We're trying to make it more of a habitat, really. It's not just about the trees; it's about creating habitat for the little animals and stuff. Like I made the other day, I was making some more bird boxes I made for next year as well. They won't be going up yet just yet. There's no point. You might as well get the winter out of the way, but they will be going up early next year. And then we'll also make some bird tables and stuff like that. So feed the birds over the winter period. I just want to encourage them to be here as well, because one thing they're safe here, we're not going to go start chopping trees down and damaging their habitat. There's the same with the hedgehogs and stuff like that. They get nestled into the verges, right? You know, because they don't cut the verges in until the wildflowers are seeded. So what happens is you end up with a load of hedgehogs that hide over the winter and then they get chopped up. Not nice. No, poor little blighters. So, yeah, I understand the reason for waiting, but we need to be able to protect the hedgehogs at the same time. Because obviously we need the wildfire seeds and what have you to get pollinated and whatever it needs to do before that's chopped down for the verge, especially in the countryside here. We like it anyway. Certain times of year, it looks absolutely gorgeous. All the verge, all like purple, or bright yellow with all the dandelions and stuff. And it's all food, you see, all food for the bees and stuff. It's all good. So I'm going to have to leave now. It says, hello, Susan. No, if you were doing an actual project under time constraints, it would happen. But to try to show it without the pressure, it won't happen. No. Yeah, the idea on the other channel is going to do with the sketches. However long the sketch takes is how long the stream's going to be. So, pretty much. So they will be fairly stylised and fairly, you know, just black and white sketches probably. That's the idea, because if you constantly yapping, like doing this, that's a job that takes 10 minutes really. I don't know how long I've been streaming for. Oh, I can't see because I covered it up. Yeah, but anyway, once again, maybe 2 hours because I've been waffling. I should do. Hey, Lefty Boat, hello, buddy. Yeah, I'm now clocking off for it, my friend. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm going to we're going to go and plant some trees and do some propagating. Plant a tree. Depending what it's like out there, but otherwise we're definitely doing some propagating. So it's a good time of year to do it. Get our roots going. Some more trees. We've got a feeling we're going to be putting a lot more trees in than what we first thought. So we first thought it'd be about 1,000 trees. I think there might be near 1,500 we're going to put in on those 2 pieces of land. So that's good. You know, it's good. We can, you know, the more we get in the ground, the better. To be fair. And also we want to be so other things won't be made. There's obviously the bat boxes, the bird boxes, or make some owl roosts, but probably only make 4 of those. And then obviously bird boxes, I'm hoping to make about 60 of them. They won't all be around the house. They're all going to be scattered around all over the place, in the trees and what have you. Because they need protecting from the predators. But also there's the hedgehog houses, but we've come off the boat on that one at the moment. We're going to have to probably be done sort of mid to late next year. Or this year, sorry, later on this year. Oh, I'm getting lost now, aren't I? Oh, dear me. And then, so bat box, bird boxes, or insect houses. We want to make quite 4 large, one for each corner of the property. Insect houses for, like the ladybirds and stuff like that. Ladybugs. And lacewings, and they eat a lot of the naughty predators, you see, regarding like the aphids and stuff like that. Right, I think in the course of their lifetime, a ladybug larvae, which are funny looking things. They're like black and orange. They are bizarre looking things. And the larvae itself can eat in the course of their lifetime about 600 aphids. So it's quite a lot. And aphids are quite destructive because obviously they get harvested by the ants, and you end up with all that like honeydew sort of syrupy stuff all over the plants, and then damaging the plants, which shoots other stuff. So anyway, so yes, I am going to make a move now because my dear miss came in a moment ago. So we're going to go in the garden and we're going to start doing some propagating. Yeah. I don't have a situation where we leave it too late, you see. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to say, I'll grab a mouse and I can bring it over here, like so. Oh, there we go. Over here. Hope the audio was okay. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. There we go. There we go. Stop streaming. End broadcast. I'm stopping streaming.